Ahoy! How's it going? Everybody in? I think I'm getting the hang of this. As long as my audio's working. How then? Carl, how you doing? Two-Tone, Derek, Andy Cooper, Gav Wilkinson, Kenny Ainsworth, Matt C4, how are you? Johnny Hunter, Rob W, Davey Harris, Stevie Ray, Trent Hugger, Professor Andy. Hello. Negative D. How's everyone doing? I'll repeat the question. I've got a corking story here. It truly does astound me. I think that's my almost overused word, right? It's not the F word or any of the profanities and swear words that I frequently have to use because I read the BBC every day and it's rage-inducing, the obnoxious stupidity of our formerly great institution, the taxpayer-funded communist propaganda that we all know and love. The thing about it is it's just astounding. That's my favourite word, isn't it? It's astounding that people in positions of power and authority, like you think to get to the very top of an organisation, you have to be clever and competent. You don't, do you? You don't. The BBC is unbelievable. I can't believe an editor would sit and read some of the things that must go across, excuse me, across his or her desk. If they have an editor, right, they can't, they just can't. I'm obviously giving them too much credit. They just can't. They can't have an editor. Because this story here, the headline itself, Rebel Wilson on weight loss. I know what it's like to be invisible. I know what it's like to be invisible. If you've been living in a cave for the last 10 years and you don't know who Rebel Wilson is, she's been in more fucking films than, 80% of known actors. All the bit part, all the people in like Game of Thrones and that, you can name them all. None of them has had as big of a platform as this stuck-up, entitled fucking brat who now wants to go on fucking the BBC. Again, not exactly like you're invisible, you're on the BBC. Go on the BBC with perfect makeup and, stylists obviously dolled her up and say, I know what it's like to be invisible. Do you? Hollywood actress? You know what it's like to be invisible, do you? You know what I mean? Who could say that, realistically? Who could say, I know what it's like to be invisible? One of the grooming gang victims who nobody listened to. She could say, I know what it's like to be invisible. But when you're an actress, the reason you probably don't recognise her, Nick, Sadwings, is because when she was filming all those movies, she was about fucking 20 clem. She had an head like a wheelie bin. And now she's skinny. She's claiming she knows what it's like to be invisible. It flies in the face of reality itself. I do not understand what these fucking people are thinking. Invisible behind McDonald's. Yeah, she was invisible because she was in the fucking fridge. If she was in the walk-in fridge, she was invisible, but the rest of the time, she wasn't. She was in 38 Hollywood films. Thank you, Blue Van Man. 38 films. I'll tell you what, I'll Google her just to see what other films she's been in. I'm showing me age because I'm not particularly interested. What's she been in? There she is when she looked happy. When she looked jolly. She was in Pizza on SBS, The Wedge, Organ Pride, Tropfest, City Homicide, Bridesmaids, A Few Best Men. What to Expect When You're Expecting. I think I've heard of that one. Struck by Lightning, Bachelorette. She's been in loads of shit. The Hustle, Jojo Rabbit. I mean, yeah, let's be honest. If you, my audience isn't known for immersing themselves in popular culture, but she's been in dozens of films. Yeah, loads of them. Bridesmaids, that was quite popular. Judd Apatow, he's a fucking dickhead, but his films are well known. What else? Rules of Engagement, loads of shit. Bachelorette, Pitch Perfect, fucking yeah. Anyway, tons of things. Anything good? Oh yeah, and she's done voices as well. Said she was in Grimsby, that Sacha Baron Cohen one. Kung Fu Panda, she did the voices for. She was in Absolutely Fabulous, the movie. I mean, again, shit that none of us watch. She's in The Hustle, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels remake, Jojo Rabbit, fucking loads of stuff. Anyway. And now she wants to say, I know what it's like to be invisible. Like I said, it staggers me. I don't understand it. It's like Prince Harry saying, I know what it's like to be poor. Basically, you're all over the telly, you're in Hollywood movies, and you got all these award ceremonies, and you're a fat fucker. What do you mean you know what it's like to be invisible? You don't. At all. It's like me saying I know what it's like to be ginger. I fucking thank all the gods, new and old. I don't know what it's like. Remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels when? Well, everything's a remake now, sadly, isn't it? So let's listen. That's what I've got my headphones in for. Let's listen to this fucking maniac, millionaire, actress, Hollywood elite make the case for knowing what it's like to be invisible. Because I fucking want to know. And obviously I haven't watched this beforehand. I just thought this was primo stream shit. So let's listen to her make the case. How the millionaire Hollywood actress for a decade knows what it's like to be invisible.
So is that what a woman has to do in the world, is lose weight to like get attention?
So first sentence, is that what a woman has to do in the world? Lose weight to get attention? No. You were in films when you were a fat knacker. If you knew what it was like to be invisible, you wouldn't be in any films. You'd be living in a cupboard under the stairs, and nobody would know who you are, and nobody have ever heard your name or recognise your face, ever. That's what being invisible is. Now you say, oh, I have to lose weight to get attention. You were in fucking films. You were on TV. What do you mean? It's absolutely mental. Like the Queen putting a crown on for the Christmas speech and going, I have to put this fucking crown on to get attention. No, you don't. Every cunt's been paying attention to you since the day you were born. I don't get what point she's badly trying to make. But come on, let's continue with this farce out of morbid curiosity. So not invisible.
I got a lot of pushback from my own team, actually, here in Hollywood, when I said, okay, I'm going to do this year of health. I feel like I'm really going to physically transform and change my life. And they were like, why? Why would you want to do that? Because I was earning millions of dollars being...
Earning millions of dollars being invisible, right? How are you earning millions of dollars being the funny fat girl if you're invisible? Where did it come from? People pay good money to go and watch a fucking blank screen. Coming soon? Nobody. What's the premise of this film? Nothing. It's just a field with fresh air in it. Oh, I'll pay good money to see that. No, listen, fatty, although no, I guess she's not fat anymore. She's gone from more chins to the Chinese phone book to one perfectly sculpted chin. Probably had some work done as well. So the whole premise of the headline and her first sentence is completely ludicrous. I was earning millions of dollars being invisible. Come on, you fucking dippy mare. Talk some more shit for my viewing pleasure, please.
You know, the funny fat girl and like and being that person. Even though I was still very confident, being bigger and, loved myself, would rock a red carpet. And even though I was probably double the size, sometimes triple the weight of other actresses, but like I still felt all the weight of other actresses.
Tell you what, two's up and sitting next to her at an awards dinner, you know what I mean? If those two lasses sat next to her, you're not getting your appetizers. It'd be like, the second the waiter goes to put it on the table, she'd be like, have you finished that? Fucking finished it. It hadn't even touched the table. Ridiculous, though. Ridiculous. I'll tell you what, well, I'll wait until the end to sum up, but this story, if she's talking about health and how it's good to not be buffalo ass, it's identity politics, isn't it? It's the toxic, poisonous identity politics rearing its ugly head again, because it seems to be what she's saying is you can only tell people to lose weight. Like, you can only say true things about race if you are said race. You can only say true things about religion if you are said religion. You can only talk about things if you are the thing, which is what's completely poisoned all forms of discourse, and it's dragging us back into the fucking Stone Ages. Because when sensible people have sensible things to say and can contribute to a rigorous debate, you're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to debate. You're not allowed to discuss, because you have to be the thing. And it narrows the aperture completely. So it's sealed shut. Like Rebel Wilson's mouth when the surgeon fucking stapled her lips together. It's really, really dangerous and toxic. And I think that's going to be the point she's making. Seems to be like, oh, yeah, of course you shouldn't be a fat fucker. Well, none of the GPs have been allowed to say that for the last 10 years. None of the world leaders have been allowed to say that for the last 10 years. BBC hasn't been allowed. I haven't been allowed. You've just got to say, you go, girlfriend. You be a 400-pound fucking bin liner full of coleslaw and do nothing but stuff shit in your fat face 24/7. Diabetes be damned. If she's saying what I think she's saying, she's unraveling it. And once again, nailing shut the coffin of communism, which is anyone with a good idea should be allowed to speak. And this identity politics shit is just fucking, it's not just destroying our civilization, it's killing fatties, because nobody can say what needs to be said. Or rather, a vanishingly small number of people can say what needs to be said, i.e., you have to be a millionaire Hollywood actress elite who used to be a fat fucker and now isn't a fat fucker, and then you're allowed to say what the Angry Bootneck and sensible clinical physicians have been saying for fucking centuries, which is, guess what? If your blood pressure's in fucking 6 figures and you weigh as much as a fucking anchor for a sizable aircraft carrier, you're not going to live a long and happy life. You silly fat cunt.
But like, I still felt confident in that, but I knew deep down inside some of the emotional eating behaviors I was doing was not healthy. Like, I did not need a tub of ice cream every night, or that.
Oh, no. If you tell people they don't need a tub of ice cream every night, you're committing a hate crime. Yeah? You're being fattest, which is ironic, isn't it? When a 280-pound woman says to me, you're fattest. Really? I'm like 180. I think we know who's fucking fattest, love. And it ain't me. I'm trying to do you a favour. I'm trying to do you a favour. I don't want you to die of diabetes. I don't want you to lose your limbs because your fucking arteries are struggling to churn all of that sugar-filled fucking blood through your veins. I mean, that's fascinating, isn't it? You know why they always go blind, diabetics? Because the blood is literally full of fucking sugar. Like there should be something like 0.2 grams of sugar per, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm pulling them out my ass. Per like 100 milliliters of blood or whatever it is. You need some blood sugar, right? But these cunts, they have the equivalent of like 50% of the blood sugar. And it's so thick and viscous as a result of it that it can't get to the smallest capillaries in your body. So obviously, like that's why they lose limbs and stuff. That's why their extremities. And it's why they go blind, because there's some of the smallest capillaries in your body are in your eyes. And when your fucking blood is like Pepsi Cola, right? Like if you cut yourself and it landed on a kid's ice cream, they'd think it was fucking strawberry sauce. Like, oh, it's a bit sweet, but it's good stuff. This, no, that's your blood, fatty, and that's why they go blind, because it can't reach the smallest capillaries in the body. I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to go blind, crying in total darkness whilst eating Ben and Jerry's. That's a bad thing. And when I say you need to get yourself around the block a few times, fatty, that should be accepted as the compassionate, welcoming and friendly statement that it is. And again, I am joking, tongue in cheek like I always am, but I'm half serious. A doctor's not being mean when he tells you that you're fat and you need to lose weight. He's trying to do you a favour. And they won't have it unless you used to be a fucking walrus. People not see how harmless that is. How many doctors used to be a walrus and used to be an actor, and now they're telling fat people that can lose weight? Because if they're the only people who are allowed to do it, we're all fucked. We're all fucked. There's not enough millionaire elite actresses, good looking, lost a ton of weight to go around and tell everybody what they need to do. We need to empower the normal people, the thin people, the medically minded, science-minded, sensible people who aren't walruses who've appeared on celluloid. We need them to talk about cellulite, right? I'm healing the world, one coarse insult at a time. And she got, oh, there she is.
That was me kind of, numbing emotions with using food, which wasn't the healthiest thing. I think it was dealing with not being a natural performer and having to perform almost every day. And that pressure and that internal stress to like be able to perform like that. It's fascinating. Why are people so obsessed with it? Like with women in particular, about their looks. I know what it's like.
There you go. I know what it's like to be a woman who's essentially invisible. You fucking lunatic. Actually, this was perfect for a non-BBC story that I'm going to segue into. Because never since the creation of clamshite have I listened to such demonstrably wrong fucking drivel from the mouth of a loud, almost obnoxiously noisy, elite actress, millionaire, fucking dickhead. To listen to Hollywood millionaires that have appeared on the silver screen all around the world sit there with a fucking straight face while pretending to feel sorry for themselves and say, I know what it's like to be a woman who is essentially invisible, is fucking insulting to anyone who's ever felt ignored, which is the 99% who, as Mr. Everton there says in the chat, poor bastard brother couldn't get a fucking doctor's appointment. The 99% are invisible. Rebel. You clueless fucking reptile. I don't care how skinny you get and how much time you spend on your hair. You're a fucking lizard because you're a reptile inside. Normal people are suffering. Normal people are invisible. Normal people can't see a doctor. Nobody listens to them. The governments ignore them. The world leaders ignore them. You know who they do listen to? Gobshite actresses who do nothing but lie for their own fucking self-aggrandizement. You absolute fucking reptile. Yes, Kate. Again, this is what I'm saying. It's absurd on the face of it. How the fuck is a Hollywood actor invisible? I do not know how they have the fucking brass neck. Again, it's like Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle does this, right? Oh, I'm invisible. I know what it's like to be ignored. No, you fucking don't. The most privileged people in the world now want to call unemployed truck drivers privileged. They want to point, like these fucking dickheads who invented these shit terms like mansplaining, they want to point at drug-addicted homeless tramps who live on in a fucking bus shelter and call them privileged because they happen to be men. But multi-millionaire, pampered, soft-skinned, she's never done a real day's work in her life. Multi-millionaire, pampered, soft-skinned fucking actors, the worst people on earth, degenerate fucking scum that they are, living in castles and having their every word fawned over and winning awards at these glitzy ceremonies where it's $20,000 a seat, want to sit there with a straight face and tell you, clinically depressed, unemployed fucking bum addict, that they know what it's like to be invisible. What a fucking piss take. Unbelievable. Anyway.
To be a woman who is essentially invisible to most people because of not being seen as traditionally like beautiful or whatever.
Why is there 5,000 photos of you then, fatty, if you're invisible? Why have they just reeled them off? Invisible. Look, invisible. 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 On the fucking bit, invisible. Invisible. No one can see me. What about in your award ceremonies? Invisible. 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 No, not invisible. You fucking... I don't even know. I'm overdoing the fat insult and she's not fat anymore, but it's just fucking shocking.
You can't share everything, especially on social media, but what I try to do is share just enough that hopefully people can understand like some of the struggles I've been through, and the reason why I share it is to hopefully help people. I'm still trying on the fertility journey, even though like it is emotional and you get hopeful and then, your hopes are dashed. And so it's like, I feel for any woman going through it, but I was the classic example of like a career woman who went out into the world, didn't even think about kids.
Oh my fucking God. She's going into places I would never have even dreamed possible. So she's actually segued into something else that we always talk about all the time, what conservative commentators constantly talk about, which is, it's not all about money and career. How many times have people said this? Like, women are happy when they act like women and they get in a traditional role and they have a husband and they have a family. And that's something that we've talked about many, many, many times. And now she's gone into that. It's like, again, do you have to be in this position to guide women into a sensible place? Because if you do, you're fucked. All the wise men who've pointed this out get marginalised, to use their own shit term, marginalised by the BBC and the fucking elites. Because if you try to give a, you know what, I think you'd be happier if you had a family and you had a husband, instead of just concentrating on money, because money doesn't buy happiness. Again, biblical fucking wisdom that anyone who isn't a shit for brains communist just sort of knows inherently. It's not good for you to do these things. But when you try and inform these people, they go, talk to the hand, motherfucker. It's unbelievable the way she's now gone into this shit that we've talked about 50 different times. Blows my fucking mind. Blows my fucking mind. So that's why we're fucked. That's why we're fucked. If you're an absolute fat mess and you're depressed and your life's shit, we can't help you. Got to wait for a millionaire Hollywood elite actress who used to be morbidly obese, fucking arse the size of a double-decker bus, windscreen. We have to wait for them to tell you. So it's a long fucking waiting list, isn't it? You can't do it if you're a male or a GP or a normal skinny fucking person. And now we're segueing into the kids. You're not allowed to tell them. Maybe you'd be happier if you got married. and actually try to have a proper relationship with someone instead of just going out every Friday and Saturday night and getting spit roasted by a load of random blokes, telling yourself while you're fucking airtight in a back alley, oh, this is just as fulfilling as having a husband and children. It isn't. And we know it isn't, but we can't tell you because identity politics, right? Men can't tell women anything. There's no wisdom to be taken from men. Jesus can't fucking say anything sensible to Mary fucking Magdalene, right? Because he's a man. He's not. He doesn't happen to be the exact same thing as that you are. We've decided arbitrarily is the thing that you need to be. Well, I mean, you could have the same hair color or the same size feet, but we don't care about that. We've just decided arbitrarily that the thing you have to be is the same gender or sexuality or religion or fucking race. We just decide this, and then you can impart some wisdom, but only if you've got lived experience. Lived experience, yeah, that counts for loads. Lived experience. It's the same shit I said about Obama, right? They listen to him because he happens to be black. Well, mixed race. But if you don't happen to be black, you can never say anything sensible to a black person. They go, oh, you don't know what it's like to be racially abused. Well, yeah, but I know what it's like to be abused. What's the difference? I know what it's like to feel shamed and bullied and small and picked on and depressed. Fuck off. I'll get advice off Denzel Washington. Yeah? Poor, underprivileged Denzel Washington can teach me more about life than you can, Whitey. You don't know anything about being bullied or picked on or insulted. You know nothing about it. Or what? You've never... You're not a lesbian. You're not a galloping fucking homosexual. Oh, well, you can't give a gay man any life advice. Nah, of course you can't. You know nothing. Unless you are the thing that we decide is the thing, then you can. It's fucking bollocks. It exasperates me so much that there's so many wise people out there in the world desperate to help. And they're not allowed to do it. They're trying to help people. They're not allowed to. Because fucking communists want you all to be mentally ill. Fucked in the head, dependent on them. That's ultimately what it boils down to. They want you to be a fucking slave.
Kids, and then suddenly in your mid-30s is like, oh, hang on, do I...
Yeah, who's been saying that? I think Jordan Peterson's had something to say about that, hasn't he? Fucking hell, he's probably got more common sense in his left testicle than this empty-headed Hollywood shit cunt has got in her entire fucking body.
I want that as an option, and then if I do, what do I need to do? It could be great if I had my own children, but I don't know whether that's going to happen.
Oh, God, it's just brilliant. It's brilliant. Everything she says is just proving me right. And you, dear listener, because what have we all been saying for the last fucking 5 years? Oh, it's a fountain, this fucking video, confirming everything we've said.
And so I'm trying not to have any expectations set on an outcome, just that I'm the healthiest I can be. I'm going to try, and what'll happen will happen.
Fucking hell. Oh, God, look at this one. Up next. It's much harder to be young than old. Fuck me. It's much harder. Here's another one, Jane Fonda. You couldn't make it up, could you? It's much harder to be young. Old. Yeah. Yeah, before my granny flopped into a grave, I remember her shuffling about age 80 going, it's a piece of fucking piss, this shit. I mean, I've only lost 3 toes to hypothermia. It's a piece of fucking piss, this elderly shite. And there's kids running through the foothills, and she's like, oh, I feel sorry for them cunts. Jesus. Yeah, we watched Alistair Brownlee. Running up them fucking hills. Sorry, Johnny. I always get him confused with the Middlesbrough commentator. Running up them mountains. And all the fucking geriatrics in the wheelchairs down the bottom. It's a piece of fucking piss, this. At least I'm not up that bastard hill. Unbelievable. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to save the rest of it for another stream. I can't do Jane Fonda as well. These deluded Hollywood fuckheads. I just can't keep going through them. Anyway, what I'll do is, That was fucking brilliant. I'll have to upload that on YouTube later. All that shit from Rebel Wilson, because it's just fucking lunacy. How do you invite someone to this fucking stream? Who wants to come on? Someone whose name I recognise can come on and have a chat, because I want to try it. I haven't done it before. It's fucking hell on. I told Ali could come on, but I don't think he's about. No. How do you do it? Let me see if I can figure it out. Copy. Oh yeah, right. Oh, you can do it on Facebook Messenger. Doing Jane Fonda, I'm going to get sick now. Yeah, don't worry. I'm not going to do Jane Fonda now. I can't. Honestly, I can only digest so much fucking stupidity in one stream. And Rebel Wilson, text the fucking cake there. Text the cake. Well, she's not having cake anymore. Maybe that's why she looks like a miserable bastard. You know the stereotypes. Oh yeah, there he is. I'll send you it on Twitter. I'll have a look on. Go and check your Twitter, and I'll send you a link. Hopefully, it'll work. Yeah. So basically, have you noticed how she used to be really jolly and happy looking when she was in all those fucking photos, and now she's skinny? She's a miserable bastard. That's like an old stereotype, that, isn't it? Fat people are jolly. Well, I think we've fucking proved it right there, haven't we? What else is worth watching? The Unexpectedly Powerful Way to Combat Stress. What this one will be, The Unexpected Powerful Way to Combat Stress. Eat fucking Mars bars. Because whoever wrote the piece isn't morbidly obese and used to be an actress. So, yeah, that'll be The Unexpectedly Powerful Way to Combat Stress, is to just fucking eat cakes in front of the TV. And they're all demonising Putin as well. Winner. Right. So there, that's a load of bollocks. I will get to that later. Jane Fonda, because that just sounds like a laugh a minute. What else is worth talking about? Oh yeah, here's a thing I wanted to do. Prince Harry. Let me just fucking put the link on here. This isn't BBC again, but I don't want to be trammeled into one direction when I really, really want to talk shit about Prince Harry. Prince Harry says quitting a joyless job is something to be celebrated. Now this, do you see what I was talking about earlier? This is why Rebel Wilson's dog shit, nonsensical fucking drivel leads so well into this story. Because we've just heard a multimillionaire Hollywood elite tell us that she knows what it's like to be invisible when she's one of the most recognizable. I mean, there's literally fucking 8 billion people on planet Earth, right? Probably about that, maybe a few more now. I bet it's about 8.3 million or something, billion. And of those 8.3 billion, Rebel Wilson is in the 0.0000001% most well-known. Like, yes, cranky old conservatives like Sadwings there don't particularly know who she is. But she's one of the most famous people in the entire world. And she's going to say with a straight face that, oh, yeah, I fucking know exactly what it's like to be invisible. Yeah, Al, check your Twitter. I sent you a link on Twitter, mate. I don't know if it'll work or not. Fuck knows. You can give me your 2 cents if you want, mate. So let's go through this fucking bollocks, shall we? Prince Harry says quitting a joyless job is something to be celebrated as people put mental health first. So this is another one of them, right? It's another head in the clouds elite talking fucking nonsense to the general public and telling them things, just like Rebel Wilson, that are total fiction and will actively harm you if you listen. Because if you're a king or a prince and you're a multimillionaire and everyone in the world knows your name, yeah, you can probably quit your fucking job. But if you're a normal person and you've got a wife and child depending on you, or a husband, ladies, plenty of you here, I know. If you have a spouse depending on you, you have children to feed and a mortgage to fucking pay, quitting your bastard job is not something that's going to make your life any easier. And it leads on from the thing I've told you guys many times before about drinking, right? About how you shouldn't do it if you aren't in a good place. You definitely shouldn't take life advice from a spoiled ginger fucking idiot if you're not in a very good place. And if you're in a not a very good place financially, this quitting your job is probably the worst fucking thing you can do. And considering something like 60% of Americans claim that they don't know where the next fucking paycheck's coming from. My missus sent me a story last year, and I believe it was something like 50% of Americans said they couldn't put their hands on $1,000 in an emergency. Like, it sort of blew my fucking mind, because like I've said, I always advocate this when I'm talking about enjoying your life, going boozing, things like that. It's something you should always have a contingency plan for in your head. Is like, where am I going to be this time next year? And when you get people like Prince Harry, who are so fucking ignorant, they don't realise that probably, I mean, see, Keith Miller's just said that I don't think that many people find their jobs joyful. Seriously, I think almost nobody does. Almost nobody. I don't hate my job. It's all right. It's not fucking joyful. I mean, he's put the bar up here because he's a royal. But I would, seriously, stop me if you think I'm wrong. 9 out of 10 people do not find their fucking jobs joyful. 9 out of 10. I know people who don't mind the jobs. I know people who quite like the jobs. Kate, you are a fucking tiny minority. Anyway, Kate, you're only one, and we've got 237 people watching, and the rest haven't said they love it. So I think my numbers are all right, right? 9 out of 10 people do not find the job fucking joyful. Carl, I think it's either 9 out of 10, but as always, I try and lean towards the doubters. 9 out of 10. Most people do not find the job joyful. So, therefore, if most of the fucking planet followed the Ginger Prince's terrible fucking advice, we'd all be fucked. All right? If your job's not joyless, fucking quit. Well, collapse the economy overnight. Starve a few 100 million kids, default on a few 100 million fucking mortgages, and watch the world burn. Thick twats like Prince Harry, because he's too fucking dense to realise the intricacies of the modern world that we've built. They don't realise that it's actually fucking hard to have a functioning country. What we'd live in is a miracle. Realise that it's actually fucking hard. I can hear you, but as usual, you've paused your camera. What we'd live in is a miracle. So let me go back to the news. We'll try to get a moment. Oh no, where's my news gone? Oh, it's fucked it. Damn you, Harry. Oh, here we are. I guess I have to just add the stream. Whoa, look at the size of that. All right. Don't know how I did that. Actually, I think I prefer that. What do you reckon? I think it's better when you can actually read the story instead of just staring at me. Unless you're a female and you haven't got your fucking eyes painted on, obviously. Unless you're a lass and you're made of stone, surely you prefer this. But yeah, Prince Harry, fucking lunatic. So I'll read the story quickly. It's been dubbed the Great Resignation, a trend that's seen a record number of workers walk away from their jobs in the wake of the pandemic. But while employers and consumers may not be cheering, the Duke of Sussex sees this as a cause of celebration, whether people are quitting so they can move to a new beginning, launch an early retirement, or take a break from the rat race. It might also be a sign they're prioritising their mental health. While on the surface, it looks like these last couple of years brought all the issues to the foreground, the reality is these issues have been brewing for quite some time. We're just at the beginning of a mental health awakening. Well, let me tell you, if your kids fucking starve to death or get scurvy and dysentery, I don't think you're going to be happy. Unless you're a fucking weirdo and you don't like your kids very much. It says, the prince added, many people around the world have been stuck in jobs that didn't bring them joy. And now they're putting their mental health and happiness first. Yeah, this is something to be celebrated. Listen, thick twat. Let me just elucidate further on this point, right? So, completely ignoring the repercussions of the wider effect on society if we all just fucking wrapped our jobs in. 9 out of 10, right? Just 9 out of 10. Completely ignoring the repercussions if 9 out of 10 people wrap their fucking jobs in. What you might think is good for your mental health is not necessarily what's good for your mental health. And this is a point I've made several times before, right? Your mind, again, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a motivational speaker, but I'm doing my best. So hear me out. And I think I know what I'm talking about by getting to the age of 42 years old and not being clinically depressed ever, right? What Prince Harry says here, go back to that. Many people around the world have been stuck in jobs that didn't bring them joy. And now they're putting their mental health and happiness first. The human brain is very similar to the human bicep. You need to work it to make it work properly. And you might think quitting a job that you don't find joyful, like let's just say your job's all right and you don't mind going to work, 6 out of 10, right? If you fucking quit your job to just sit idle all day, you might think that it's going to be good for your mental health, but it isn't. I'm telling you it isn't. And yes, user, I am not a therapist. I am not the rapist either. But it's not. I'm telling you this from hard-won life experience. When I haven't worked and I've been sat on my arse for a long time, it hasn't been a pleasing experience. First couple of weeks are good because you think, oh yeah, this is going to be sound this. Get a fucking break in. After about a month, it's fucking shit. Because humans need, you don't think you want to be working, but in actual fact you do. Because your brain is like your biceps. It needs to be worked. And you get so much from going out to do work. It's like going to the gym. You don't want to get on the treadmill and run 3 miles fast up a big hill. But after you do it, you always feel better. It's indisputable science. It's endorphins. You feel better when you exercise, when you work your body. And your brain is exactly the same. Andrew Cooper's done now for a year and he's loving it. Fair enough. Some people it'll suit. But we're talking about the general public at large here. And a great many fucking people think that sitting on their ass all day will be good for them. But just like sitting on your ass all day is bad for your physical health, it's also bad for your mental health in general. Like I said about you have to work your brain like you work your biceps. If you don't like socializing and speaking, if you're very introverted, the best thing you can do is force yourself to interact with people. Because you're working your brain like you work your biceps. Accomplishing goals is good. There's another fucking true fact. Exactly. Harold loves his rent boy job. Harold, you're obviously one of the 1 in 10, like Kate. Kate likes healing the sick. You like daisy chaining blokes around seedy hotel rooms and sniffing coke off another man's ring piece. But most people benefit from going out of the house every day. Routine is good for you. Regimentation is good for you. Going out the house every day, interacting with people is good for you. Knowing that you're providing for your family and paying your bills is emotionally satisfying. There are dozens of fucking things that humans take from work. And, oh, there's Al. Alan, how we doing? I still can't see you, though. Oh, there we go. Fucking hell. I had him for about half a second. Ow, that was hurting my ears. Right, you've opened 2 windows there. Seriously, you get loads from going to work. It's extremely good for your mental health. And Prince Harry should be roundly ignored as fucking usual. I mean, again, I'm assuming I don't need to tell anyone that you should ignore everything that Prince Harry says. I'm assuming everybody who watches this stream knows that the Ginger Prince is about as sensible as your local ranting homeless man. If you see a tramp standing on the sidewalk, fucking flapping his hands, the sidewalk, the pavement. I'm sick of getting shit for using so many Americanisms. But what I will tell you is, it does happen naturally because you get sick of repeating yourself. That's why I come across as being pretentious and occasionally use Americanisms. I know the British are very snooty people like that and they hate it, but there is a reason, especially when you've got a fucking accent like mine. And when you say things to people like, "Shut that in the bin, mate," they just go, "Huh?" about 8 times. So you start saying, "Toss that in the trash, please, old chap." And that's why I'm coming across as pan-Atlantic, whatever the fucking term is, I don't know. Al was here for half a second and he's fucked off, but now it's 10 to 12, so I have to bugger off for midday anyway. Alan, like I told you, and anybody else that wishes to interact with the Angry Bootneck, if it works all right and I can figure it out, I'll start doing it a bit more regularly, and we'll have some other people's opinions, because the one thing you do need is opposing views every now and then, and we don't want this to turn into a monoculture, do we? You could take the Irish out of Ireland. Yeah, Al, Wi-Fi is gash, by the way. It does also help if you plug in. I've been assured. Anyway, we'll call it there. It's nearly noon, and Alan fucked everything up. I'll do another stream tomorrow, though. Yeah, and maybe we can do Jane Fonda tomorrow, because I swear to God, I need a rest if I'm going to start on yet another clueless Hollywood twat. To sum up, don't listen to Rebel Wilson and don't listen to Prince Harry. All right? Paz is on as well. Fucking hell, I'm just going out, Paz. If you come on for just after 7, Paz, I'll see if we can get you on a stream. But yeah, I've got shit on at noon, so I have to go. Nice to see you about though, Paz. I thought you'd been banned again. I haven't seen you for a while. Rotten Politics has gone awfully quiet as well. Yeah, about 7 tomorrow, Paz, if you're about. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Let's blame Susan for any of the latecomers. And yeah, I'll talk to you all very soon, all right? Cheers, folks. See you very soon. Toodle pip.